Good afternoon, students. So today we are going to study about soil. Soil is very important for plants and other living things too. Plants grow on soil and absorb nutrients from it. How do that happen? The roots help the other parts to get the water. Many microorganisms and small animals also live in soil. Which are that small animals? Rat, squirrels, rabbits. They also do live in the soil. The next topic is the formation of soil. The formation of oil does not happen in 1 or 2 days. It takes thousands of years to happen. The formation of soil is a gradual and a continuous process. It started when the earth was born and continues even today. It is going on even right now. It is being happening right now also. In the beginning, the earth was covered by huge rocks. Now we do find particles, correct? There is no huge rocks. So many huge rocks are not there right now. How did it happen? Due to the changes in the weather and temperature, these rocks broke down into smaller ones. How did it happen? The weather, the temperature, the monsoon, the winter, the summer, every particular season also plays this role. The flowing water, the pebbles, small stones, strong winds, soil particles, this all do get created and get affected by the temperature and the weather which is going on around. In soil, this all things are included. Even air, water, sunlight, everything is included in soil. What is soil? We are studying about the lesson soil. So the main question is, what is soil? What are the components of the soil? How is soil made? The soil is made by earth, stones, clay, sand, pebbles, and humus. Now in details we will know about these components of the soil. The components of humus. First is the components of humus. What does humus contain? Decayed plant matter. What is decayed plant matter? The dried leaves, dead plants, animal excreta, that is the wastage of the animal. The dead and the decayed animal bodies, the animals which are dead and their bodies do get decay in the soil, that is the content of humus. Humus is very rich in nutrients and is very good for plant growth. Humus is kind of manure. Humus is very rich. The roots of a tree go deep into the soil in search of water and nutrients. Here you can see the nutrients. Where are the nutrients and where are the water? Accordingly, the roots are getting deeper and deeper. There are 3 layers of the soil. We are going to do an experiment also related to this. So today we are going to study about the 3 layers of soil. First is topsoil, second is subsoil, and the third one is rocky layer. What is soil? About topsoil we will study. The uppermost layer of soil is called topsoil. Topsoil. The uppermost layer of soil is called topsoil. Soil particles, water, this is the content of the topsoil. Topsoil is soft and holds water, humus and small organisms. It also contains earthworms, snails, insects. These all are the organisms that are present in the topsoil. Roots of grasses and other small plants can be seen in the topsoil. Here you can see the picture. What is about the topsoil? What is present inside? Second, what is the subsoil? S-U-B, sub, S-O-I-L, soil, subsoil. The layer that lies under the topsoil is called the subsoil. Subsoil contains larger grains and minerals and more pebbles. First is larger grains. Second is minerals like biotite, augite, muscovite, olivine, and the pebbles. Pebbles are the small stones. The subsoil contains lesser humus and water and is also harder as compared to the topsoil. Which soil is harder? Subsoil is harder than the topsoil. What is soil? The third layer, rocky layer. What does rocky layer consist of? The rocky layer lies under the subsoil. Which is that? Subsoil is the second and the rocky layer is the third part. As the name suggests, it contains large pieces of rocks. You might have seen when we go for a picnic or somewhere, you might have seen these rocks on Mount Abu Road. If you have ever visited there, you can see that. It does not contain any soil or humus and also holds very little water. No soil, no humus, and a little bit of water. There are 4 types of soil. There are 4 types. Which are that? They are found on different types. Where? River bank, mountains, plains, desert. Soils are of different types depending on where they are found, as well as qualities such as color, texture and fertility. Here you can see fertile soil and infertile soil. There are 2 types here. Fertile, infertile. The soil found in coastal areas is quite different than found in mountainous regions. You might have felt that the one which are at coastal areas on the beach, they are also different, and the soil on the mountain, that are also different. How they are different, why they are different, we will study. First is sandy soil. What is sandy soil? Sandy soil is made up of sand with very little quantities of clay and humus. That is 0 to 10% clay, 0 to 10% humus, and 80 to 100% sand. Where it is found on the coastal areas and seashores. Where is sandy soil found? On seashores and coastal areas. This soil you will find there. Okay. See, here are the pictures. Grainy texture. What is the texture? Color of the sand particles is yellow, gray, or light brown. Now, sandy soil is unable to hold water since there is a lot of space between the soil particles. You might have seen on the beach that when the water you pour it inside, it does not hold it. It leaves the water very soon because the space between the soil particles is much more. Hence, plants that grow in sandy soil require frequent watering. For example, watermelon and coconut. You have to put continuous water. They require water. What do they require? Water. Now, types of soil. Sandy soil, and what are the other uses of that? Uses of pure sand is done in building, construction work, and can you tell me? Manufacturing glass. This is the most important thing you should know. Now, the second type, that is clay soil. What is that? Clayey soil. As the name suggests, clay soil is largely made up of clay. What it is made up of? Clay. Now, what are the components of clay soil? Soil particles and little space. In comparison of the other soil, clay soil has more soil particles and little space between them. Where is this found? Plants growing in clay soil are unable to provide enough air for the roots. Which are that? Can you tell me any of the examples? Sure, I will tell you one example. Here you might be able to see rice, grass, paddy, jute. These all are found in clay soil, muddy soil. You can say mud. You might have seen paddy, jute. These all are grown in which soil? Clay soil. Which soil? Clay soil. It needs a lot of water. What is the other use of clay soil? It is used in making statues, pots, bricks, toys, earthen pots, roof tiles, clay toys, statues. These all are the other uses of clay soil. Now, third type, loamy soil. Loamy. Loamy. What are the contents of loamy soil? It contains 10 to 30% clay, 30 to 50% humus, 25 to 50% sand, It has sufficient air spaces between the particles and can hold both water also and air also. See, here you can see in the picture that there is proper space also for water and proper space for air also. It also contains humus. What does it contain? Humus. Humus, humus. Loamy soil is ideal soil for healthy plant growth. Which soil is mostly used for plowing the field and everything? Loamy soil. Soil is very important for growth of plant life. What is important for the growth of plant life? Soil is important for the growth. It provides valuable nutrients to the plant. What does it provide? Valuable nutrients to the plant. The roots also draw water for the plant from the soil. Manure is added to soil that are not very fertile so that the plant receives adequate nutrients for its growth. See, here you can see the manure is being added so the plant has grown much better. Manure comprises of dead and decomposed plant and animal humus, that is humus. What is that dead and decomposed plant and animal? That is humus, and is very rich in nutrients. Soil, home to living things, one of the main thing. What is soil? It is an home to living things. Plants grow in soil. Soil is also home to many small insects and animals. You might have seen earthworms, many insects in the soil. That is their home. What is their home? Soil is their home. These animals eat bits and pieces of dead animals and plants present in the soil. Snail, earthworm, what do they eat? They eat bits and pieces of dead animals and plants that is already present in the soil. Earthworm turn the soil thereby letting it air into it. Do you know who is the natural farmer? Earthworm is a natural farmer. It plows the field. Additionally, their excreta also makes the soil fertile. Earthworms are also called friends of the farmers. What are earthworms called? Friends of the farmers. Animals living in soil are ants, beetles, millipedes, and centipedes. These are the millipedes and centipedes are another type of earthworms. Animals living in soil are rabbit, rats, squirrels. These all are the animals which live in the soil. Rabbits build a burrow and live inside that. We have studied 4 types of the soil. These are the pictures of that. Okay, so now we will see an YouTube video related to this.
Good morning, children. Today we shall learn the properties of soil and why there are different types of soils. If a farmer wants to grow tomato, would he be able to grow it without soil? Well, as we know, every crop requires certain type of soil. If someone has a piece of land, he needs to know the soil. Otherwise, he might sow wrong seeds which wouldn't grow into a plant. You may have a garden space, but if you don't know about the type of soil, you can't make a nice garden. You know, there are many things that make the soil fertile. Let us take a little fertile soil from a garden and find what it has. First, we take the soil in a container and cover it with a lid. Then we heat the container. If the sunlight is intense, we can also keep the container outside in the direct sunlight for few hours. Then we open the lid. Look, there are drops of water on the lid. Where did it come from? Well, the soil contains water, and when we heat the container, that water turns into vapor. Later, the water vapor touches the lid and cools down to form water droplets. So, this shows soil has water. The plants absorb this water through its roots. Now we take some soil in the container and pour water over it. Look, some air bubbles are forming. It shows that the soil contains air. When we pour water, the air which was trapped in small gaps between the soil particles escapes in form of a bubble. This air in soil provides oxygen to the roots of the plant for breathing. Many animals which live in soil like earthworm etc. use the air trapped in soil for breathing. The ability of holding water and air is not same in different soils. If we just look around, we can tell there are different kinds of soil. But why are they different? We need to know what soil consists of in order to know the difference between the various soils. Let us take a handful of soil from the garden. Let us take a glass tumbler and fill 3/4 part of it with water. We then add some soil into the water and stir the water with a stick. Don't disturb the water for next few minutes. Look, 3 different layers are formed. These layers are formed from different particles of the soil. The bottom layer consists of small gravels, that is stones and pebbles. Above that is the sand layer, and above the sand layer there is a layer which consists particles which are smaller than sand. This is called clay. So clay is the smallest particle in the soil. Look, something is floating on the water. Look closely. You may find dead leaves, decayed organic substances, etc. This is humus. Humus provides nutrients to plants and makes the soil fertile. So now we know in general Soil consists of small pebbles or gravels. It also contains sand, clay, and other particles too. The air and water are also present in the soil. The dead leaves, decayed organic substances found in the soil form the fertile humus. If a soil has the right structure to trap air, water in it, and has the right amount of humus to provide nutrients to the plants, it would be fertile. You know, earthworm lives in soil and makes the soil loose. And then soil can trap more air and water can also enter the soil easily. So no wonder the earthworm is known as a farmer's friend. That is all for today, children. Bye bye.
Hi, my name is Niranjan and welcome to another episode of Sub-Sci where we teach you simple science experiments with things you can find at home. Today we're going to look at what's under our feet. And no, I'm not talking about concrete. We're going to dig a little deeper and give you the dirt on soil. Soil is the main reason why human life is what it is today. If it wasn't for soil, we wouldn't have had sustainable agriculture and we'd still be nomadic hunter-gatherer tribes. But to find out what soil is made up of, we're going to need a few ingredients. Well, you're going to need soil. I've also got this clear bottle. Could be glass, could be plastic, that's your choice. And I filled it with a little bit of water. And I have this homemade funnel I made. The idea is to pour the soil into the funnel. And once you've successfully managed to make a huge mess, you take a bottle of water, cover the end and shake it. Once you set it down, you realize that the heavier particles, that sand and gravel, sink to the bottom almost immediately. Let it sit for a couple of hours. Actually, I'd suggest you wait a day because your patience will be totally rewarded. Because this is what it looks like at the end of a day. What happens overnight is that your particles start settling down according to their size. So right at the bottom you've got really heavy particles and right at the top you've got the super light ones. What are these layers? Now that's the really important part here. Right at the bottom you've got sand and gravel. Just above that you've got finer silt. And immediately above that you've got the super fine clay. What you see suspended at the top is humus or an organic matter, and the color of the water is attributed to the minerals that are dissolved in it. Each and every component that you see has its own purpose to play. The humus right at the top is organic matter, which is what feeds the plant. Below that is clay. Clay has the ability to trap water. This keeps water molecules at the roots long enough for them to absorb them. Below that is silt, which is where all the important minerals are. And finally at the bottom you have sand and gravel, which helps drain the waters quickly so that the roots don't rot. This kind of soil which has all these parts is called loam. And based on the percentage of each individual component, they can be classified into sandy loam, into silty loam or into clay loam. What we've got here is sandy loam. Try it out at home and tell me what the soil at your place is like. Leave them in the comments below. This episode was brought to you by Champak and One Network. Thank you so much for watching and please subscribe.